Chapter 18 Clutter. Our home should be a welcoming place where we can relax and feel comfortable. For most people, living in a disorderly, cluttered space negatively affects their day to day work, even if they're not fully aware of it. If you've never taken the time or had the inclination to unclutter your surroundings, believe me when I say you're missing out on the glorious sense of calm and satisfaction that comes from living with only the things you use and truly love. When you get rid of clutter, it not only gives you more space, it simplifies your life by having less stuff to clean, organize, and worry about. Once you've made up your mind to declutter, don't be surprised if you suddenly feel overwhelmed at the thought of a colossal job ahead. It probably took years to accumulate everything you own, so relax. Keep in mind that not everything has to be accomplished in a couple of days. That only happens in those home and makeover reality shows you may have seen on TV. The key to effective stress-free decluttering is to have a realistic plan of action geared to your unique circumstance. It could vary from setting aside 2 hours a day to 2 hours a week for the sole purpose of decluttering without distractions. Once you've made up your mind to declutter, it's important to stick to your plan of action. In my own experience, sporadic bursts of unorganized decluttering just don't cut it. There are varied approaches to getting the job done. One is to complete a single room at a time. If that's your plan, it's best to begin with a room that needs minimal amount of work. You don't want to run out of steam because you started with time-consuming spaces like a garage or a basement, if they're anything like most basements. Decluttering a bathroom usually fits the bill. It's a relatively small job that doesn't take all day and will give you the feeling of making progress. Another approach is to regularly declutter only certain elements in a room, whether it be a chest of drawers or a couple of kitchen cabinets. Tackling these small tasks has an immediate positive impact that will encourage you to carry on. Save the time-consuming and less obvious sorting of paperwork, files, magazines, and photographs until you've made some serious headway in the more visible areas of your home. Throw out, sell, or donate to a charity or give away any items you no longer have any use for. Avoid rationalizing that you might need them someday. The fact is that someday will likely never come, although there are always exceptions. Some may not agree, but I believe that putting things in boxes and storing them out of the way in a basement or storage facility is not decluttering. All that does is move the same things to a different location. Sentimental items and things you're emotionally attached to are usually the most difficult to part with. Unless you have a lot of stuff that takes up a fair amount of space, such as furniture, there's really no need to be in a big hurry. It's better to put it off until you're in the right frame of mind, otherwise you might regret it. There have been times when I couldn't bear to part with a certain memento one day, but upon revisiting the same item 6 months later, out it went with no misgivings whatsoever. You can always take a break from sorting the sentimental stuff while carrying on with neutral items so that you won't break the momentum. Some people find that it's much easier to let go of a sentimental item if they have a picture of it. I'm one of those people. I have pictures of most of the sentimental items I've parted with. They include many paintings, a china cabinet that had been a gift from my mother, and a beloved collection of ceramic cats I had enjoyed for many years. The digital photos I have of each of those items are satisfying enough, and the added bonus is that they never have to be cleaned or dusted. Once your home is all nice and tidy and you actually have some room to breathe again, you must make a concerted effort to prevent it from cluttering up all over again. Since old habits are hard to break, this may not be as easy as it sounds. Buying things purely on impulse is one of those habits. Remind yourself that impulse purchases rarely instill feelings of delight much beyond the time of the purchase. The fact is that impulse buying often does just the opposite. This is especially true for costly purchases you can't comfortably afford, and thus you suffer the consequences of having blown the budget.